What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Darien Lake video, and today we have a bit of an interesting update for the park. As you guys should already know at this point, the park is going to be reopening May 21st. We've already put out a couple videos covering the reopening of the New York parks, so make sure to go check those out using the link in the iCard up above to check out either of those videos before watching this one. I'll be talking a little bit about that today, but today's focus will be on some other things going on with the park. Mark was able to get some drone footage of the park recently, so I'll be able to show some of these up-to-date shots, what the park looks like today, and some things that stuck out to me. Today I'll be talking a bit about the recent drive-in light show, the reopening of the park, and some of the theories that I have on why they chose to reopen a bit later than usual. I'll also be talking about Wahoo Wave and the future of the park with new attractions since Wahoo Wave got delayed. And I'll talk about the big one, which is Predator, and what's actually going on with it right now, if any progress has been made. And spoiler alert, some of the news you might hear is a little bit disappointing, but it also opens up a whole realm of possibilities for the future, so definitely stay tuned to that part of the video. And finally, I'll be talking about something that we observed near Ride of Steel. By we, I mean Mark, that unfortunately we were not able to catch on camera due to some technical difficulties, but I will be explaining what he saw in some of my theories. So definitely stick around for that. I got a very fun update video for you guys today, so this should be really enjoyable, and it's good to get a lot of this stuff about my home park off my chest because we haven't had much news to talk about with the park being closed. But before we hop in the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get all the latest and greatest news on Darien Lake and the reopening and all the parks in the western New York area. We will be having plenty of coverage on the park coming very soon, and it'll be awesome to go into the park as a YouTuber for the first time. I really can't wait, guys. I got so much to show and tell you guys. Just hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride. Make sure to hit that like button as well, as that is the easiest way to help out the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you that likes the video. Now, with all that being said, let's jump right into the news. Now, first up, I'd like to talk a little bit about the park's drive-in light show that we didn't really fully cover, but it's really not that big of a deal, so I'll just briefly cover it right here. I attempted to go to this light show this past Saturday, and the weather really had other plans. It was so bad the other day. I don't think we really could have chose a worse day to try to drive the 60 miles wherever to go. But yeah, rip this little vlog that I tried to make before going. But yeah, the light show is running until March 7th on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So it's definitely something there if you want something to do over the weekend. I probably won't be able to make it out there, but there's plenty of videos out there showcasing some cool footage from the show. So go check some of those videos out. I'll try to find something on it for you guys. But that's really all that needs to be said about the show. It's not a huge deal. It's something just interesting that we probably never will see again. So check it out if you want. Now let's move on to the park's reopening, and this is a little more exciting. So the park is opening May 21st, which is a little bit late. The park usually shoots for the first or second weekend of May to start the season off in a typical year. Obviously, this is not like any other season they've ever had, so I guess it's understandable in that alone. One of the reasons for this I've actually heard is the rides haven't really been being taken care of that well, at least the flat rides that actually require a lot of work in the off season. This park has a ton of old rides from the 80s and 90s, so it makes sense why some of them would need a lot of extra care, and they probably need some extra time to tune these rides up and have them ready to go for opening weekend. Six Flags has tried to open other parks early this year, like Six Flags America is opening March 6th, which is like 3 weeks early for them. So that had me wondering if Darien Lake was going to open early, because the governor gave them permission to open in April if they wanted to. So there could be a lot of reasons, but that's probably the main one. The one that popped out to me was staffing. The park probably has no staff at this point because they've been closed for over a year now. So they might have been looking to wait an extra week or two for all the college kids to be out. There's a lot of colleges that are semi-close to the park, so they could get people from there to come work at the park. They'll probably be short-handed the whole year, so it makes a lot of sense if they are waiting to get some more staff members to come. Also, the weather has been crazy so far this February. I'm not sure if they're a little bit worried about that. I doubt it, but it might have disrupted some of their off-season routines that were already disrupted by the pandemic, so that could play a factor as well. But May 21st is not a bad reopening date at all. They'll still get most of their usual season in it if they choose to be open till October, which I don't see why they wouldn't. So we'll have a pretty nice season on our hands. The other big announcement was that Wahoo Wave is being delayed till 2022. The statement we got from the park is due to construction and supply delays related to the pandemic, the ride is scheduled to open in 2022. This definitely seems a bit off because we saw Wahoo Wave on site in the site that they're going to put it on being cleared near Ride of Steel. I'll try to pull up some shots of the construction for you guys to show that the parts were indeed on site. I think Six Flags is just choosing to delay the slide till 2022 to try to maximize the reception from it. This is actually a trend that's starting to happen as we get closer and closer to the new season. I'll be covering this further in a later video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Some people may also ask the question if the water park will be open this season. As of now, the park has not given us a definitive answer on whether or not the water park will be open, but I think it will because the water park is a huge draw. That place always seems to be packed whenever I go there, and it's not even worth riding things half the time because the lines are ridiculously long sometimes. But yeah, the water park is very popular. It would stink if they ended up having to close it for this year. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, what is happening with Predator? This past year, it was leaked that Predator would be receiving the GCI Titan track by Claire Hain in an interview. However, the park has not acknowledged it to this point, and nothing has seemed to happen, as you can see by this footage. There looks to be absolutely nothing going on at the scene, which is kind of sad to a lot of people. Now let's remember, we didn't really receive any information at all what will be happening to Predator from that interview. We got no timetable, we have no idea where the track could potentially be going, and we practically don't even know if it's fully confirmed yet. A fan of the channel named CoasterCrazy13 actually did some digging and found out some more information actually from GCI social media page about what is happening with Predator and if it'll still be getting the Titan track. Some of his comments were deleted about the Titan track and Predator potentially getting it, and they responded with a very generic message saying that the Titan track is currently on White Lightning and check back to their social media page to see where any future track installations may be. What this tells me is that that information that was given out in that interview was probably not meant to hit the streets. So does that mean it's not happening? I don't know. It definitely doesn't look like it'll be happening in 2021 though. I think it probably will still happen at some point, but I really don't know. We don't have that much information, and that interview might have been a mistake, or Six Flags could have chose to cancel the project because we all know about their financial issues, so who honestly knows at this point? However, this does open up the back door for something else possibly happening to the ride. Maybe it being RMC'd is still a long shot, but it's still possible at this point. Maybe they struck a deal with RMC or another company to do some work on the ride. Who knows? Maybe Six Flags was really angry at them for leaking the information and just cut the deal as a whole, so that would really suck, but you know, it's possible that could have been the reason. I highly doubt it, but that would be a pretty harsh way for Six Flags to go. Whatever happens, I will make sure to keep you guys updated. We'll probably get another update or two before the season starts, and then once we can get in the park, we'll obviously be able to see if there's any groundwork happening, if there's any footers being marked or anything like that. And this could be a very minor installation, so it might not be really anything at all. They might be able to just get in for a couple weeks like they did with White Lightning and pop right back out, and boom, the ride will be back running as good as new. Unfortunately, at this point, there's still more questions than answers, but I thought you guys deserved to know this information, and I didn't want anybody driving out in the cold to go check out some non-existent progress on Predator, because that would be a very frustrating experience given what kind of weather we've had. Now lastly, the last thing I wanted to talk about is what Mark actually saw by Ride of Steel. Mark was able to fly his drone out by the park, but unfortunately that footage was lost back in January, and he noticed 3 fairly large crates by Ride of Steel. He said they're right by the entrance of the ride, which is pretty close to the station, so keep that in mind as I'm speculating. I have 4 theories on what they could have been. My first theory is that there's something completely unrelated and have nothing to do with Ride of Steel whatsoever. That's no fun, so let's go on to the next theory. Number 2. The crates contained something for Ride of Steel's train that was nothing out of the ordinary, just a typical off-season procedure. I know some parks like to take their trains apart in the off-season. Actually, a lot of parks do that, so that would not surprise me at all. Number 3 is the most exciting theory out of all of them, and that is Ride of Steel is getting a second train. Ride of Steel currently only has one train, so this would be a much needed addition to help increase capacity on the busier days for the park. But I have my doubts because these trains are really expensive and there's no reason for Six Flags to go out of their way on a down year financially. My fourth theory is probably the least exciting and least favorable theory out of all of them, but that is Ride of Steel is getting that metal T-bar that Six Flags America's version of it has. This bar is constantly complained about on that coaster, and I think they put this as an extra safety precaution due to all the accidents that have happened on Intamin mega coasters. I don't think it's anything overly safety related other than being able to lower their insurance costs. Ride of Steel is the only mega coaster in the chain that have those traditional just T-bars and seatbelts, so it would not be the most surprising thing for them to add this to Ride of Steel, unfortunately. But that's all just speculation at this point. That'll just about wrap up this update video on Darien Lake. Some of the news wasn't the best today, but I'm very happy the park is reopening and I'm so excited to get the chance to finally get back in one of my home parks. Let me know all of your thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns about Darien Lake, and I'll do my best to answer them. I hope I covered some of the stuff you're interested in learning about the park today. And I have plenty of more Darien Lake content on the way as we approach opening day. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can be the first to see any new videos that I come out with on the park. Once again, I greatly appreciate if you guys could smash that like button before you go. I really appreciate you guys making it this far in the video, so I hope that means you enjoyed it. Now, with all that being said, guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.